being able to work off each other, I think that's been the biggest thing.
We're head down grinders.
A time when you come out here and trying to prove the coaches, show the coaches what you can do,
We're not comparing anything to last season. It's a completely new scheme.
We have a lot of good skill players in our offensive line.
We're attacking details. We're coaching the heck out of them. The guys have great spirit.
A new season of Seahawks football is just days away. Season 50 kicks off on Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers at Lumen Field. Alongside Chris Egan and Ariel Ursuto, I'm Paul Sylvie. Welcome to our Seahawks preview show. Today, we're breaking down what fans should expect from this Hawks team in this new season. And Chris, everything I've read in the preseason, analysts coming forward, I don't even see the Seahawks at 2 or 1. They're at 3 or 4 when it comes to picking where they're going to finish in the division.
Which is interesting because the three of us have talked about this. You look at the schedule, and the schedule looks very, very inviting for this Seahawks team. But yes, when you look at the media outside the Pacific Northwest, they're looking at this team 7 wins, 8 wins, fantasy drafts across the world. Nobody seems to be picking Sam Darnold in these drafts. Maybe they are, but it's late. So it's mind-boggling to me. We've all watched this team. I think the expectations here in the Pacific Northwest are high. I think there's plenty of excitement around this team going into year 2. And you've been watching them very closely. Head coach Mike Macdonald seems calm and cool this year.
He does, and his players seem calm and cool because they understand his scheme, especially on the defense, because it's the second year that he's leading this defense. And it's a very complicated scheme, so they're finally understanding it. They can comprehend it. And the offense says it's very difficult to go against.
Yeah, well, the players as a whole are buying into Mike Macdonald's system on both sides of the ball. And again, this is a good team that's had a great attendance record through the voluntary OTAs, which is really exciting for Mike Macdonald to see. Now, Seahawks have a brand new offense led by offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. The revamped offensive line has gotten a lot of praise throughout the preseason. Not only the talent on the offensive line, Ariel, but new offensive line coach John Benton deserves credit as well. And all that positivity is a good sign for quarterback Sam Darnold. Chris.
Yeah, Sam Darnold rolled into Seattle wearing a flannel. He's ready to roll. And this is a quarterback coming off the best season of his career. Darnold finished top 10 among quarterbacks in pass attempts, completions, passing yards, passing TDs, and carries. He had 12 games where he had 2 or more touchdown passes. He was a Pro Bowler. Darnold says he's enjoying his time in Seattle so far. He's done a great job taking over as one of the leaders. Head coach Mike Macdonald says, don't mess with Sam. He's got that edge to him. He loves to compete, and the guys respect that. He's not trying to be anybody else. Sam was asked about having an edge.
I think for me, I've always, I take this very seriously. Not that other people don't, but, I'm very serious about kind of everyone being on the same page, especially first year for everybody getting in the same system. Like Clint's new, everybody's new in the system. And so I think it's vital for us to, get on the same page with everything. So I think there needs to be a sense of urgency there. But I think everybody in the locker room on offense feels that way as well. So it's I don't ever feel like I'm forced to lead, if that makes sense. I feel like we have a really good group of guys that are all on the same page in how we want to do things.
And he says he's not forced to lead, but there were some times at training camp where things weren't going right, and Sam Darnold made sure everybody knew who was the leader in that huddle, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and a great running game always helps a quarterback for sure, and they've got a nice stable of running backs.
Yeah, the running back is always going to be the best friend of the quarterback, and they do have that great stable of running backs, and it starts with Ken Walker. We didn't get to see a whole lot of Ken this whole training camp and preseason. He was dealing with a few different injuries, but we know what we've got with Ken Walker. We know that he can be a game changer when he's out there. But what's really great is that we actually saw a whole lot of Zach Charbonnet this whole preseason. And then we know that he can really take a game over when he's in there. We saw him in that Kansas City game absolutely break for one in almost the first play of the game. He almost got a touchdown. If he would have just gotten a really good block, he ends up getting a touchdown on that first drive. But what was really surprising, or actually just really encouraging, is that George Holani finally made this team after all of those years. And I think what they really liked about him, and the reason why he made it over their draft pick of Martinez, is that he's a great run blocker. And so that's going to be pass blocker, and that's going to be really important in this whole new offense. Is that they have some good blocking out there, and also he's just he's a solid teammate. It's finally his chance out there.
Yeah, I think it's a good point too. A lot of head coaches want good pass blocking from their running backs. If they have a running back who's just going to step up into the hole and miss a block or try to get out and catch an outlet or something like that, they don't want that. Pete Carroll, a perfect example of that. He wanted his running backs to be able to step in and block. Tight ends, same thing. They want their tight ends to block and catch as well. So it's a good point. And this is a guy that's probably the reason Holani, part of the reason he won the job.
And it's going to be fun. We won't get too much into it, but it's going to be interesting under Clint Kubiak that the use of the fullbacks this year. I mean, this is something we haven't seen in Seattle. It's going to be fun to watch that, starting with game 1 against the 49ers.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see that offensive line. They love to block for the run. Tied team record, we're talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba. This is a guy who leads that receiving corps now, and we talked to him in the offseason a little bit. He had 6 touchdowns last season, 1,130 yards. He tied a team record with 100 catches as well. So this is a guy where we sat down with. He said he's absolutely ready to take on a leadership role on this team, and he prides himself on being a playmaker. The touchdowns are nice, but he's more about the clutch third down catches that keep drives alive. So, Chris, he says he's not shy about learning from Cooper Kupp as well.
Well, I like the transition there. There's no question JSN is ready, but what will the Seahawks get from Cooper Kupp? That's the big question. In 2019, 94 receptions, 10 touchdowns. 2021, 145 receptions, 16 touchdowns. He was also a Pro Bowler in 2021, and yes, he was also Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl champion. Past 3 seasons, though, it's been a different story. He's battled through some injuries, but Kupp says he's learned a lot while battling through the highs and lows of an NFL season.
You've got to enjoy the journey. Like the ends are going to take care of themselves, and those are very fleeting moments. And everyone is working and wants to go win it all. Everyone wants to go out on Sunday and play well and walk off that field with a win. But at the end of the day, in this game, you don't have control of that. You do everything you can to set yourself up for it, but you just don't have control of it. And so if you get lost in just all of your joy and fulfillment being found in that, you're never going to find it.
Little Northwest side note, both Cooper Kupp's parents were athletes at Pacific Lutheran University. All right, another receiver to keep a close eye on is rookie Torrey Horton. He saw limited time in the preseason because of a minor ankle injury, maybe also because the Hawks didn't want to show how good this receiver is. The 5th-round pick, some say played like a first-round pick in training camp. Quarterback Sam Darnold is excited to see what Horton will bring this season.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of great things so far in training camp, and just his curiosity, and the questions that he asks, with the receivers, to us as quarterbacks, he's very hungry to just learn the game, learn the system, and he just wants to put his best foot forward for the team, and that's all you can ask for.
All righty, from receivers to tight ends, and was this Noah Fant getting cut? Either of you guys surprised you guys right before?
I wasn't, because at the time he was the 2nd highest paid player on the team, and that can't be your tight end.
Yeah, that's what it was for me, obviously. The payroll part of it didn't surprise me. Honestly, his production part didn't really surprise me either. I think when you look at the money and the production, it didn't line up, and I think they can get a lot more for that.
Yeah, and with that in mind, Noah Fant gets cut. The Hawks, though, are keeping 4 tight ends on the active roster. A.J. Barner, who played with the Hawks last season, leads the group. All 4 considered very good run blockers. A.J. Barner explains what's expected from a tight end when it comes to run blocking.
Just a lot of the point of attack, really. Like the tight end's the tip of the spear, leading the charge, really. Like obviously the whole O-line's going to be in the front line with it, but like we're on the edge. We got to make sure we create a new line of scrimmage, and like that's something that I'm very passionate about and very excited to do, because it's something that I can be one of the best in the league at doing.
Now to the offensive line, because the tight ends have a huge part in the way they block and the way they catch, and that really the talk of the preseason, as you guys know, has been the running game and the reemergence of that offensive line. And against its preseason, they're playing against 2s and 3s from other teams, but they did get the job done. And there are 5 O-line starters that Mike McDonald announced. Abe Lucas, hopefully he can stay healthy all season. I know he hopes he can. Anthony Bradford, Jalen Sundell at center. Olu Oluwatimi has been battling a back issue and did not get to play a whole lot in the preseason, so he is giving way to Jalen Sundell. And then Gray Zabel, the much heralded first-round pick. Charles Cross, the leader of that offensive line. McDonald does have a contingency plan in case he needs to bring in a backup.
And I want to be very clear, a lot of Seahawks fans concerned, and Paul, you were there at Lambeau Field, about Jalen Milroe's performance in the O-line. None of those guys you mentioned were playing in that game, in the Packers game. Let's be clear, those were third and fourth string offensive linemen, so I know there was a lot of Seahawks fans concerned about the O-line after that Packers game.
And you mentioned the Jalen Sundell at center beating out Oluwatimi. It wasn't just the back injury. They are very impressed with Jalen Sundell at center. They love the way he plays. They think that the best thing about him, he's extremely smart, and he's also very athletic. And they said that is exactly what you want out of your center.
Absolutely.
And John Schneider also did something this year. He shut up Seahawks fans because for over the last decade, everybody's been saying, go get an offensive lineman. Get an offensive lineman. They got Graves Abel.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he can do. He's starting. So.
Yeah, and his teammates love the way he's playing out of the gate. All right, coming up next, we'll dive into the Seahawks defense and some bold predictions for the 2025 season. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Seahawks season preview special. We talked a whole lot of offense in the first part of this show. Let's take a closer look at head coach Mike Macdonald's defense. And it all starts with Leonard Williams, but let's start with Jarran Reed because I like the guy is like the lunchbox guy. He's always in there getting the work done. He's unheralded at times, but again, this is a guy who still performs, stuffs the run, and he had 4.5 sacks last season. And when you listen to Jarran Reed talk, he always defers to other guys on the line, gives them a lot of credit. Byron Murphy in particular. Byron Murphy is a guy who's going into his second season in the NFL, and most former players will tell you that's when the guy makes the jump. Everybody's expecting this to be a big year for Murphy. He learned a lot during his rookie season, and it was a fast game for him. Now things have slowed down, and again, players, coaches, all looking for this guy to make a jump this season, and it's all led up front by Leonard Williams. You can't say enough about Leonard Williams. This guy is the leading pass rusher on the team, 11 sacks last year. He had the 92-yard pick six was probably his most memorable highlight against the New York Jets, which was awesome. But this is a guy who continues to impress not only his teammates, but players across the league. Again, 11 sacks last year and a Pro Bowl berth.
And you two dealt with him more. I was a lot of times back in the studio, but I love watching the big cat. He's productive, but it seems like he's having so much fun. You did a lot of fifth quarter interviews with him. You got him in the locker room. Always got the glasses on, the swag on. He's a fun guy to be around.
Did you see him in the Packers game on the interception by Ty? And he runs down and it's like he's just in his shorts and shirt and he's got no helmet. He's just out there like a fan, like he ran down there and he's celebrating with all the defense. Every time there was a huge play, everybody came off the bench, guys that weren't even playing. And I love that the NFL just allowed it,
After the first game they were getting penalized for that. And they were like,
it's fun to watch.
And they realized that's not a good idea. Let these guys have fun because that cool. Defense just loves to celebrate each other.
Yeah, and then DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the newest guys on that defense. And I personally am excited to see this guy play. Only played 4 games last year, so I feel like, okay, this guy's ready, and he didn't lose too much tread on the tire on that last season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him play too because like you just said, he only played 4 games last year, so you really didn't get to see the full D-Law experiment, right? And so we haven't seen a whole lot of production from him for the past few years. I mean, it's been since 2022 since he had 65 tackles, 6 sacks. It's been since 2018 since he had double-digit sacks. But I still believe that at 33 years old, he still has plenty of production in him, and we've seen plenty of it at training camp. But what is really concerning is the lack of depth right now with the linebacker position. I mean, we have Tyrese Knight, who is a possible full participant today at practice, hasn't been participating in practice all preseason. He might be back out there. We have Boye Mafe, who's definitely not still back out there right now. And then Ernest Jones is just keeping everybody all together. He is the one who is the leader as the linebackers, and they really just need him to have as good of a season as he had last year for the limited time he was here.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, the fact that there isn't a whole lot of depth at that position. But we talk about some of the other guys out there. Uchenna Nwosu, this is a guy who they would love to have back. He's been working on the side during practice, and there's some encouraging signs there. But again, there's no hard, date on when they're going to put him back in the games.
And that's what's concerning to me is that there is no date yet, and he is a huge factor on this team. So that's a concerning thing for me on the defense. Something that encouraged me though is that Julian Love is back. He's better than ever. This is truly one of the leaders of this Hawks defensive unit, safety Julian Love. For the last 3 years, Love has put up some big numbers. 124 tackles 3 years ago with the Giants, 123 tackles, 4 picks in 2023 with the Hawks. And last season, 3 more interceptions, 109 tackles. Over the summer, ESPN published a ranking of the top 10 safeties in the NFL, and Love was number 10 overall.
That's a rare thing. I feel like you don't see my name on too many lists, even though I feel like my play warrants it. I don't know. I'm just trying to be the best safety in this league, best defensive player in this league. I'm just chipping away each day, and recognition or not, I just try to approach it the same way. But yeah, I mean, the past few years, I feel like I've operated at a really high, consistent level. So I appreciate that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this secondary is ready to go. The Seahawks' top pick in 2023, Devin Witherspoon, started in all 17 games last season. 2-time Pro Bowler, considered one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Spoon has been one of the top run-defending cornerbacks in the NFL. In fact, over the past 2 seasons, he is ranked number 2. Coach McDonald says he keeps getting better, and that's on and off the field. McDonald says he's become a great leader. Spoon describes what a leader means to him.
Just being consistent with who I am, being a guy that they can go trust, and the guys around, they put their faith in me to do what I do. I'm just trying to go out there and be the alpha male, man. But we surrounded by a lot of alpha, so it's really all of us leaders on defense. That's what make it easy to play in this defense.
Heard it last year about his productivity, and I think he's put a little chip on his shoulder. There's been some Seahawks of the past. We talk about the 50th greatest Seahawks of all time. Somebody that always talked about having that chip on his shoulder was Richard Sherman. So hopefully Reek can take what happened last year, put that chip on his shoulder, because guys like Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon are not going to let him have a bad season. I think they're going to be on him all year long.
Yeah, I think, the one thing about Woolen, they were asking him earlier in the training camp about his contract, and he knows this is a contract year for him, so he wants to perform, as you talk about, Chris, with a chip on his shoulder. This guy's got to come out and show that he can overcome the injury he suffered a couple seasons ago and get back to the way he played in his rookie season. So he does not want to talk contract. He just wants to continue to excel.
Wait a second. Are you saying when there's a contract year coming up that they try to play a little bit better ball?
I'm telling you, man, I'll date myself here, but Sparky Anderson, the great Reds and Tigers manager, said, give me 25 guys on a contract year and I'll give you a pennant. And that's how it goes. So, I mean, if you're playing for a contract, you got to get it. So, again, it's just it's going to be.
That's why he's the best. Quoting Sparky Anderson.
Sparky.
See, you're so young, I can't even believe you even remember Sparky Anderson. God love you. Coming up next, we'll dig into some bold predictions for the Seahawks in 2025 and debate where Seattle ends up in the standings. Welcome back to our Seahawks season preview special. We're going to take a look now at the games to watch for the 2025 season. We kind of went through the win-loss thing when the schedule first came out, and Chris and I had them winning like 12, 13, 14 games. I mean, I think the 17. Schedule is a bit soft. Yeah, we won't say he said 17-0, but my game to watch is the Seahawks at Pittsburgh on September 14th. I think there's just some intangibles in this game. I think having going against DK Metcalf and his first time away from the Seahawks, his first go-around with the Steelers, listen, that guy's a stud, and he's going to be a handful for that Seahawks defense going up against a guy they know very well. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers is with the Steelers now. I don't know what this guy has left in the tank, but if they can protect him and keep him upright, it could be an interesting game. But I think any time you're going up against one of the NFL's cornerstone franchise teams, that you're looking at a team that is always fun to go up against, especially when you're playing in their stadium in Pittsburgh.
Did Aaron play for Sparky Anderson back in the day?
He might have, Chris. He's 58 years old now, so.
DK is going to be interesting this year. I think DK is going to have a little chip on his shoulder as well. I know the Seahawks players and coaches will say, let's go 1-0. Sure, that 49ers game to start the season is gigantic. I'm actually looking way down the road at Thursday, December 18th. Rams at Seahawks. This is the third to last game of the season. After this game, Seahawks are going to take on Carolina, which they're going to be out of it at that point. A big 49ers game to end it. But this Rams team, since 2015, the Hawks are only 7-13 against the Rams. This is a team that has been a thorn in the Seahawks side for years. I just have a feeling this game is going to have huge playoff implications. I know it's very cliche in the sports anchor world to say must win, because a lot of times when you hear that, it's not really a must win. I think that's going to be a must-win game.
You also chose it because they're going to be wearing their rivalry jerseys that night.
Oh, yes. The Oregon Duck
Yeah.
jersey.
All right, go ahead, get it out, you two. Like, I was on vacation when these came out, so I'm indifferent. Your quick opinion?
I mean, I can't argue with people that say they look similar to the Oregon Ducks, but it's one uniform. You win that game, nobody cares.
It's a rip. Full, pure rip.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, enough about that.
I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral. I don't even know.
But they're cool. I mean,
Yeah,
they're cool.
Oh, what about the helmet itself is kind of cool, isn't it?
All of it's
Very,
cool.
yeah, and it's a salute to the fans. It's fun.
All right,
Enough about that.
let's go to Week 16.
My game to watch, is at home versus the Texans on Monday Night Football. And the reason why this is my game to watch is because Monday Night Football, you're going into the bye after this one. And so you need to win this game. And then after this, then you're heading into that bye. Then you can focus on your must-win game against the Rams after that, as heading into that playoff stretch.
And you could have Spoon against Nico Collins. Just a great matchup there on Monday Night Football.
Said no one. All right. No, that's going to be cool. You're right. That's a huge challenge. All right, let's get right to the soft part of the schedule. I think the first 7 games are pretty soft. I see these guys going 5-2 out of the gate. Chris, you mentioned the Vegas over-under is, 7.5 now for total wins?
I just continue not to understand it. I feel like everybody thinks when Geno Smith left that this team got worse, and I don't get it. Geno, we loved having you here, but I think this team is better with Sam Darnold.
Okay, I like the
I do
over.
too.
I like the over, but with a minute left in the show, how many wins?
Over. You know what? I went from 17-0 to 12-13 with you. I'm going to say on this show 10 wins, and it puts them in that must-win against the Rams there to possibly get a playoff spot.
Okay.
Oh, my bold prediction is not about their number of wins. My bold prediction is that Torrey Horton gets more receiving yards and touchdowns than Cooper Kupp.
I think that's a great call. And if you haven't had your fantasy draft yet, Torrey Holt, I think Horton is a great pickup. Yeah.
You guys should really have your own fantasy show without me, because that would be fantastic viewing that I didn't have to see it. So you guys do a fabulous job of that. All right, but I am going to pull teeth here. I like 12 wins. Chris likes 10.
I'm going 10.
I think 12. What do you think?
I'll split the difference.
Okay, 11. Wow, way to go. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you throughout the season.